Oh, did it feel good. And I told him that I cannot talk any faster. I have to speak each word syllable by syllable, a couple of seconds per syllable. To be patient with me, there's nothing else I can do about it. Were they ever curious? They wanted to know everything. Of course, it took so long to say something, but nevertheless, they wanted to know. And we were talking clear until, let's say, wee hours in the morning. And they said, well, why don't you just stay with us tonight? I says, no, I've got to go back home to the apartment. I can't show any preferential treatment. I think I should remain as part of the group. He said, oh, we would like you to stay with us. We could drive you to wherever you got to go each morning. Nope, I've got to stay with the group. I can't indicate that I have I'm superior in any way to them because I have a better place to stay. They understood, and so it was. Well, we would meet on the weekends, and which would be Saturday and Sunday. One Saturday, this was after about, I'd say, the third or fourth week, they said, now, we're both from southern Indiana. We're both from the same town. We're going to go down there. We want you to go with us. Would you go with us? I said yes. The thing that amazed me in that drive down was I'm from the West. Sagebrush, light blue color, trees, a lot of that their leaves would drop. These hardwood trees in Indiana, the colors and the brightness, the oranges, the yellows, the reds, all those colors was simply fantastic. And I was just amazed by that. Well, got to meet both parents. But I stayed with her mother. And while at her mother's house, they explained how we got together and how I talked with my arm and everything. And all of a sudden, she jumped up and she ran to the phone and she called the branch president. She said, I have someone here in my house. He's from Idaho Falls, Idaho, and he talks with his arm. Can he give a 2.5-minute talk in Sunday school? And the branch president concurred. So now I'm on. She didn't even ask me. She just did that unilaterally. Well, I've never done that before. I had blessed the sacrament once, and only once. I'll never go through that again, and put everyone at such unease, trying to wait for me to get the words out. So that night was one of the hardest nights of my life. I broke out in a sweat, and I just couldn't stop sweating. And so next thing you know, the bed was damp and that's kind of wettish on account of me. And I just kept wondering, how am I going to do this? On the other hand, but the morning came. Next thing you know, we're in church. Brother Lawrence gets up. He explains to them how I came to his house, how I introduced myself with my arm. He demonstrated the use of the arm so they wouldn't be caught by surprise. And then he turned the time over to me. Now, when I walked up to that podium and the microphone, it was, by the way, a very small branch, just a small room, basically. But I would say there were probably right around 75 people there, something like that. And I didn't know quite how to start off. And I didn't know quite what to do, because my right arm is going to have to be used for swinging, but I felt like I got to have both arms and hands to hold myself. I was so weak in the knees, and I felt really weak-kneed. But on the other hand, I just going to hold on for dear life with the left and let the right do the work. I took a deep breath of air, took that initial pause, started the swing. As I went through that swing, I felt an intensification, I believe, of that was the true light that lighteth every man that cometh into the world. And as I ended that first swing, I knew that I could drop my arm. And I knew I could speak out. I could speak out like I've always dreamed of and hoped for and wished for and prayed for. And so I did. And I spoke out. I can't remember all that I said. It's been so many years ago. But I remember this much, that I felt a strong urge of a payback. And that payback consisted of me saying and vowing to them that I was going to go on a mission and I was going to do my best. Now, when I sat down, I was where I was before I stood up. I knew that I still have to use my arm. I was not cured by any means. But what I knew, which was perhaps the most important of all, that there was a God, for I felt that influence most powerfully, and never as powerful in any time prior to. And I knew that if somehow I could get myself in sync and have my life compatible with Him, that I could speak stutter-free. But I also knew I still had to go through the process of learning how to speak stutter-free. And if you recall last time, I likened it unto two pillars. One pillar is where we start off and we start to stutter. And then as we speak and we add stuttering upon stuttering, and we build our speech habit, which is a stutter speech habit on the one pillar. And then I quoted from Isaiah 28, that for precept upon precept, for precept upon precept twice, line upon line, line upon line twice. Here a little and there a little. For with stammering lips and another tongue will I speak to this people. And I explained that in this case, the stammering lips referenced Moses. Moses was a stammerer. Now he had to have help from Aaron. Aaron became another tongue. But scriptures, as well as words have denotations, but they have connotations. Words can be used in many contexts. In this case, the another tongue, and that becomes key, that what we're talking about here at the Bogue Institute, in which I was to learn, was that we're going to start all over again with another tongue. And that another tongue will be building a stutter-free speech habit.